I remember when I was younger, I used to dream about going to the fair. And when I finally got a little bit older and my family finally took me, I remember the memories we could capture through our minds, by the way. This is the time where you didn't need a phone to take videos or a camera to take pictures. My mind could just remember all the good times we had at the fair. I mean, I remember eating elephant ears. Does anybody remember elephant ears? One of the best things you could have or eat at the fair. Man, I remember the activities you could do at the fair also. The merry-go-rounds. You had the roller coasters that go super high and then immediately drops down. I mean, I don't know how people like that feeling, but I still remember that being something I experienced. I'm not gonna say it's a terrible feeling, but man, I remember experiencing the Ferris wheel. You remember the Ferris wheel? Just so many good experiences during, the fair. And this brings me to this point here. What happened to the fair? I haven't seen the fair in so long, or I haven't seen anybody talk about the fair in so long. I mean, this is sad to see though. I'm thinking maybe it's the business is dead, because I remember the fair used to come to your state or something like that. But now I haven't seen it in so long, and it's just the memories we had was just so great. I wish it was back. Speaking of old memories, what happened to fixed cameras, fellas? I've stressed this before during stream. I've talked about this many times during my stream. I just want to know what happened to fixed cameras. I would love a developer to just have the balls to just make a game with fixed cameras. I haven't played any modern game, unless I'm missing out on one. I haven't played any modern game where there were fixed cameras involved. It's all about the over-the-shoulders nowadays. I guess that's what everybody loves, is the over-the-shoulders. I did talk about this during my Resident Evil 1 remake video, but I want to talk deeper a little bit about it, because Silent Hill 2 remake is coming out in a few months, right? And I'm surprised too, I'm not gonna lie. I thought it was coming out all the way next year. I don't know why I had that in my mind, but for some reason I thought it was coming out next year. But turns out the game is coming out in a few months, and I've heard a lot about the game. I've posted a little bit on my community posts, and I've heard a lot about it. I've heard a lot of changes are coming, but one thing I would love to come back, which I'm sure is not coming back, because I actually wanted to share this footage with you guys here. I don't know how many people saw this footage, but this is like the behind the scenes, the development work for Silent Hill 2 remake. And as you can see, James has an over-the-shoulder camera with him while he was fighting. I think he's fighting a nurse here, but he has the over-the-shoulders. The game is strictly over-the-shoulders. Now, what to me that's disappointing. I don't know how about everybody else, how they feel about it. I know people want to say yes, it's a remake, but in my opinion, I think they should have stayed to the fixed cameras. I mean, it's going to ruin the game. It's going to ruin the game. I know people don't want to hear it, but it will ruin the game a little bit. The atmosphere, the camera work was just beautiful in Silent Hill 2, and it's after seeing this video, of the behind the scenes of this development work. And also, before I even continue, it looks like he has like a dodge mechanic now, doesn't it? Look at it. It seems like he has a dodge mechanic, and I don't know how I feel about that yet. I guess I gotta play the game. I'm not gonna harp and rant about that too hard. But back to the fixed cameras, fellas. I would love a fixed camera again. There's a lot of good that's to do with fixed cameras. I mean, I know people don't like the janky movement. Maybe it's the modern gamers, but I know that's the complaints I remember people saying. They don't like the janky movement. They would like more freedom for the camera. But if you look at fixed cameras, they work perfectly with horror games. I understand with other games, even though like games like God of War 2, remember we played God of War 2? God of War 2 had such good camera angles because of the fixed cameras that even the newer God of Wars, they couldn't even compete with this cinematic, perfection right there. I mean, if you remember God of War 2 running on the chains after you freed the horses, dude, that scene right there was just beautiful. And it's all because of the fixed cameras. And I think that's one good thing about fixed cameras, is that it is very cinematic. Despite that, people don't believe so, but I think fixed cameras are very cinematic. You can, if you ever watch a movies, technically movies have fixed cameras because they'll have like one good angle of the character. Say you're watching a horror movie, a good horror movie, they'll have a good angle of the camera of the character. If you remember the Texas Chainsaw Massacres, when the ladies will walk in front of the camera and it will pan out and show, the barn that they would usually walk to, that's fixed cameras, fellas. And I think games did that very well, especially when you're in control of the characters. Seeing the camera be in the top corner of the room, and then the character just runs straight through, I think it just puts you on edge, first of all, because with fixed cameras, it doesn't give you the freedom to see what's the attacks or the enemies that are ahead, right? Because with free cameras or over the shoulders, you could easily just turn, like remember Dead Space, you could easily just run away from the necromorphs and then turn around with the fixed cameras, and then bam, you shoot the necromorphs. Yeah, and even though Dead Space still scary, but can you imagine if Dead Space had a fixed camera like type mechanic? You know how cool that would have been. I'm not saying it's not good now. It's with the over the shoulder, it's fine. It's actually it was well made. But imagine if it had a fixed camera. All I'm asking for is a change. Like, somebody try it. Give it a try. I guess maybe they don't want to risk it. Maybe people won't like it. But good God, give us a try, because we've not gotten used to the over the shoulder. It would be cool to help let people experience a fixed camera. Let the newer, players experience fixed cameras. Maybe they'll like it. You never know. But of course, this is modern era where they just gonna stick to what the normies already like and stay there. And I think that would be a very good adjustment. Now imagine, okay, say maybe the normies don't like fixed cameras, right? Okay, then give us the option. Make a game that allow both. Now you might be like, Gibby, that's not possible to allow players to play with fixed cameras on and over the shoulders. That's actually not true, because look at GTA 5. You could play in first person mode. They made a mechanic, like, they made the camera work for first person, and then they make the camera work for third person. So why not make a game where you get to choose if you want to play a fixed camera game, strictly the game you play it as, with the fixed camera, and then you can play the game. Maybe if you don't like the fixed cameras, I don't know why you wouldn't like it, because again, perfection. But you play with over the shoulders if that's what you like. I mean, give us that option at least. But if you're not going to give us that option, at least have the balls to try it. I would love to see a horror game with fixed cameras again. So many horror games that came out. I mean, imagine Evil Within with fixed cameras. You know how cool that would have been, just to witness how that would be. That's a new experience. Fixed camera is actually a new experience. Now, mind you, with fixed cameras, like I said before, it is a lot scarier. You using the cameras to scare the player, because remember in the original Resident Evil 1, you would walk around a corner, you would hear a zombie, right? But you couldn't see it because the camera was strictly turned to your player. It would force you to use your ears, first of all, to hear where it's coming from. And second, it would scare you because you cannot see. When humans can't see something, your first reaction now, you kind of panicking, because your eyes is what lead, everything. So I would like to see where the danger is coming from, but I can't, because the camera is strictly stuck on, a certain angle. And you know how cool would it be to get that, especially with the technology we have now, with all these engines being built? Bring back the fixed cameras. I would love to see that in this new Silent Hill game. Even though, again, I'm not talking about all the other problems that it may have later on, but this is strictly what I'm talking about here, the fixed cameras. Imagine if, you know, they can use this technology and bring back the fixed cameras. You guys let me know what you guys think, though. This is a quick video, but I think, you know, I would love to see another horror game at least attempt to do it. I mean, maybe I'm missing out. You can probably put it in the comments. Maybe there's a new modern horror game that came out that I've never seen that had fixed cameras. I would want to see it. But imagine if Silent Hill 2's remake could take the fixed camera and maybe innovate on it a little bit, and how cool that would be to see. You guys let me know if you want to see that. Maybe you don't. Maybe you're a normie and you don't want to see fixed cameras, and you strictly want to play over the shoulder. Oh, I love over the shoulders. Everybody love over the shoulders. I mean, my goodness, man. You know, if you love cinematic, you would love fixed cameras, because you could do great work with fixed cameras.